You are not my mother and I want to go home. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about Coraline by Neil Gaiman, and I did this one recently. I was just looking for something kind of short and easy to get into, and I feel like I could listen to Neil Gaiman narrate just about anything. I really enjoy his narration. He does most of his own audiobooks. I don't know if he's done all of them, but the ones that I've listened to have all been narrated by the author himself. And he does a really great job. And so I checked this out because it was a really short audiobook. And I'm not super familiar. I've never seen the movie. I'll probably go watch it now because the book was pretty enjoyable. But so I really didn't know a whole lot other than based on the, peripheral knowledge I have of the movie's existence. I figured this was going to be kind of dark and weird. And in true Neil Gaiman fashion, it's just one of those stories that I felt like it pulled me in pretty quickly. And we're following Coraline, for those not familiar with the book or the movie, like I was before. And Coraline is the very Gaiman-esque child, where it's the child who is bored. They're just trying to do things. They're trying to talk to their parents, and nobody believes them. Their parents don't believe them. The other adults can't even get Coraline's name right, keep calling her Caroline. And so when some dark and sinister things start to happen, and of course, everybody just thinks that Coraline's just, just being a kid and not taking her seriously, things get kind of interesting kind of fast. And the sort of the basis is her family lives in a building that was converted to apartments. And so there's there's a door that just opens to a brick wall because it was divided into multiple apartments. And then she ends up finding in the neighboring apartment her other mother and other father, who want her to then stay with them. And so it's kind of the basis, and it digs in kind of from there. And it's a very short story. And it's one of those things where it has that Gaiman feeling of it feels sort of like it's oriented toward a younger audience, but also still I think enjoyable. And Gaiman never writes like a kid's book that feels like it's the condescending kids books. It's just like maybe it's for kids, but adults can get a little more out of it, or it's just still he's assuming that even if you are 8 years old versus 30 or whatever reading this, that you're still going to pick up on what he's doing with the story. And so I think that's one of the reasons why his books tend to be still really enjoyable, even the younger reading ones, because I've read a few now that probably technically fall into that category. And that's why he tends to have that kind of just like any age type of feel, which I think it's hard to get, but he does a really great job with it. And this one, like I said, it was a really interesting story. I listened to this on a Sunday while I was doing some stuff because it was really short. Kind of got it all done in one sitting, and despite being short, like I said, it has a really well developed story. Things are moving pretty quick. We're finding out these things, but it very much it has bits and pieces. It has bits of foreshadowing. It has little clues to things that are going to happen later, and it develops a fairly rich story, a very creepy story as well, which is why it makes sense that this became a movie that Tim Burton made as well. It definitely has that feel, but does a really good job of setting that all up. And it's there's something about too. It's just the whole idea, and it makes you think too, because it's not the first time that you've seen it, and it's kind of it's a trope at this point, I would say, where you have you see it a lot in movies where like something supernatural is happening, whether it's aliens or magic or whatever, something supernatural is happening, and the kid sees it and the adults don't believe them, and so they kind of have to deal with it. So like that's an established thing, but the way that Gaiman sets it up just felt so incredibly real, because it wasn't just like, oh yeah, yeah, sure, go ahead. It was really set up to show, Coraline and her life and what her parents are like. And her parents aren't neglectful. They're very busy and they're working, and they often work from home and they're on computers. And like some of the things that Coraline's father tells her to go do when she says she's bored, just trying to find random miscellaneous stuff just to get her off of his back. I thought were just really funny because I, mean, I could absolutely see somebody saying that. That whole like, oh, you're bored, go do some random thing that sounds really boring to do. And so kind of just all of the way that it was set up, it felt very real and it felt very realistic. And like the different neighbors and other people that Coraline meets and that we see in the story are all kind of unique and different characters, but they all feel like they have their own things going on, and so the fact that they're just kind of ignoring this child, they're just putting up with this child, made a lot of sense. And then the just the kind of the feel of it, and this one, like I said, it is kind of a creepy and dark feel, but I feel like it's to the point of it's not like too dark that somebody younger couldn't read it. But I feel like a lot of authors would have gone for like a more sugar-coated version of it, or movies, that kind of thing as well too. So I had an interesting time with this one. I think if you like Gaiman and if you've read some of this other stuff that kind of is the bridge between younger readers, older readers, and just kind of that feel. This would definitely be one to check out. I still need to also do Neverwhere because I haven't done that one yet. As well, which is probably another one that's somewhat in that camp. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think too. If I should check out the movie, because like I said, I have never seen it. I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. That's it for this one, though. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for it. The Wizard Leader at Discord if you want to check books, whether this book, other books, any books, really anything at all. It is a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.